Welcome to the San Gorgonio Chapter Trail Talk series. My name is John St. Clair, and I'm your Zoom host for the Trail Talk series. And before we get started with our presentation on fall colors in the Eastern Sierras, I want to go over a couple things. First of all, everybody please mute yourself so that we don't hear any background noises while the presentation is going. And if you have questions that you want to ask the speaker, we ask that you put them in the chat section. If you look at the bottom of your screen, there's a little talking bubble icon. You click on it and it opens up the chat window. And the default is to send it to everyone, and that's fine. You don't need to change anything. Just type your question there, and then we'll make sure all the questions get answered before the end of the program. And um, so the if you register before 4 o'clock, you got an email reminder from me about this Trail Talk meeting tonight. And in that email is the link to the San Gorgonio Chapter YouTube channel. This presentation is being recorded, as they all are. And within 24 hours, I will have that recording posted on the San Gorgonio Chapter YouTube channel. Next month, Rachel Wilkin is doing the program, and she's doing the second part of the John Muir Trail. The last 2 summers, she has done the entire John Muir Trail. Last summer, about half of it, and well, 2 years ago, half of it, and then just this last summer, the other half. And she did a program on that first half. And so if you go to the YouTube channel, you can refresh your mind about what she did the first half, and then you can pick up the second half in December when she does the Trail Talk program then. So also don't forget, those of you that like to get outside, and we have outings that are under the outings and events section of the chapter website. And always, every week or so, take a look and see. Sometimes the outings sort of trickle in, and there might be something that looks interesting to you. So tonight's program is on the fall colors in the Eastern Sierra, and that was the original title. I think we're adding a little bit of fall color from the San Bernardino Mountains as well. And our speaker, Juliann Anderson, is definitely a big figure in the San Gorgonio chapter. She's the co-chair of the chapter outings program, and she's also an outings leader. And she also is on the Trail Talk committee and does most of the scheduling and finding of speakers for our programs. So without further ado, I'll take the spotlight off me and let Juliann go. Let's see. Remove spotlight.
Thank you, John, as always, for that lovely introduction. Everyone, good evening. Just wanted to go over a few things before we start our program. As John mentioned, we've got some great trail talks coming up. I just want to highlight our own Rachel Wilkin. What a brave young woman this gal is. She did the JMT, the John Muir Trail solo. Was forced off the trail in 2024 due to a knee injury, but came right back this year and finished it. And it is, a long trail. It's a couple 100 miles. And she did it solo and has a great story to tell, not only of the trail itself, but just sort of the mental fortitude that it takes to do that solo and the preparation and everything that you would expect. So I think it's going to be an outstanding program, and that's next month, the third Wednesday of the month, December. I also want to highlight our January program is Gary Mumau of Los Serranos Group. He took a fabulous road trip, kind of to the Four Corners area, and saw the 5 Utah national parks, which is just a beautiful, beautiful grand circle, as you're well aware. And so he's going to talk about, Bryce and Zion and Arches and all the parks of the area. So that will be a beautiful program in January. February, our own Karla Kellems. I know Karla is on. She is going to have a fabulous program on a problem that we're seeing in California, the gold-spotted oak borer beetle that is ravaging our oaks. The GSOB, the gold-spotted oak borer, and we need to have an understanding of that. And she wants to highlight that for us so that we have a better understanding of what's happening in our oak forests throughout the state. And in March, John is going to talk about the Cucamonga Wilderness and the Peaks program. And that is very important. And John is spearheading that. So we're programmed through March with these fabulous and varied trail talks. So please tune in. A couple of other things. I wanted to invite everyone to our general meeting. It's live in person on December 2nd, which I believe is a Tuesday, at the San Bernardino County Museum at 7 p.m. Come, we're doing our holiday meeting. Show up. It's a cookie exchange. Bring cookies, and you have to take some. That's the rule. You bring some and you take some. And then we will have our fellowship and everybody meeting and having a chance to visit, and then our program, which our executive director Josh Sita and our co-chairs Rachel Wilkin and Marianne Reese will put on, and the rest of our cast and crew. So please come. It's great to see you live and in person. Other things coming up. Our camping trip over Thanksgiving weekend from Black Friday through Sunday, so it's a short trip. Feel free to sign up. There are always people that drop out. We're at capacity, but contact me and sign up for that if you wish. It's always a beautiful trip to the Cottonwood Campground. It's in the lower part of the park. And it should be just a lovely trip. I think weather's going to be quite good. So come camp with us, or even come by for the day. Come early in the morning and come hike with us. And we're going to start our winter hikes, which are lower elevation. The Box Springs group is going to start with some Riverside area hikes. We're doing a Box Springs Mountain Two Trees Trail on, I believe it's December the 14th. So come for that. And it should be just a nice time of year to do it. Cooler, fresh, and we can explore the Box Springs together. So that is a bit of our list. If you're in the Riverside, Redlands, San Bernardino area, come join us for the Mount Rubidoux fitness walks on the first and third Sundays of every month. Check the listing and sign up. We walk at dawn. It is 6 a.m. We get to see the dawn over Riverside. It is beautiful. We beat the crowd going up Mount Rubidoux. So come meet us at the parking area at the foot of Mount Rubidoux in Bonominio Park. And I'll be there, and they're typically about 8 of us. So come join us. All right, today we're talking about fall color in the Eastern Sierra and a bit in the San Bernardinos. And so let me share my screen. And here we go. John, can we see that?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. Let's see. Let me try the share screen again. Nope, not yet.
Do you see the Zoom menu bar?
I just lost it. Let's see. Hold on. No, I don't.
Yeah, you gotta get to the Zoom menu bar and
Yeah, I just lost it. Yeah, I think I do. Hmm. Oh, I'm seeing the it's got me back to the John, I'm gonna take a minute here. Everyone, I beg your pardon. Here we go. I'm gonna share,
There, now we can see your desktop,
but all right, we're good.
and
All right.
now we see the slideshow.
Okay. Let's see. And let me get to let's let you there. And we're good. All right. Well, a few things I want everyone to know about our California fall color adventure in the Eastern Sierra and also in the San Bernardinos. There are typical places to go that we can um, enjoy nearly every year, depending on the weather, of course. Fall foliage in the Eastern Sierra. For those of us that are familiar with the Eastern Sierra, you go up 395, you start seeing color as we go up in elevation. Um, Really, right around Bishop, we start having a lot of cottonwoods. We're transitioning from the Mojave Desert. We've gone through kind of that fabulous, lava field area because the area is so volcanic. So you have this obsidian, black lava fields that we drive through as we proceed north on 395 and we gain elevation. And then as you start going through the three towns of Lone Pine, Independence, and Big Pine, we start seeing some cottonwood. We hit Bishop and we have a lot of cottonwood and we see some of the gold um, and the turning of the leaves there as we have more and more of sort of the streams coming down, the alluvial fans coming down from the Sierras. As we go up the Sherwin grade very steeply, and we go up, we kind of top out at Tom's Place and then at Convict Lake, that is when we start seeing the aspen because we're up above the 7,000 foot level. Um, the topography obviously has changed. We're transitioning from the Mojave to the Great Basin, so the sage is much more lush. That's changing. Um, and we start coming into the aspen forest and some of the coniferous forest. And then as we proceed even further north past Convict Lake, past the Mammoth Airport, past the Mammoth turnoff, we go up steeply, and that's when we really enter the Great Basin. You top out and then you drop down to the June Lake Loop. It's completely lush sage area, gorgeous, gorgeous aspen in the June Lake Loop. And then we drop down into Mono Lake. Um, Beautiful color around Lee Vining and going up Tioga if it's still open toward Yosemite. And then as you climb again, as you're going further north toward Bridgeport, again, more and more aspen. You go past like Lundy Canyon, that area, as you go toward Bridgeport. So that's kind of the progression and the places to keep in mind maybe next year if you go for fall color. My spouse Maggie and I were up there in early October of this year, and we had that freak storm. A lot of rain down here in Southern California and up in Inyo Mono counties. It was a little snowstorm. We had very soft flurries of snow for a couple of days, and we were kind of snowed in. Only about a foot of accumulation, and it melted incredibly quickly. And then on the last day that we were up there, brilliant sunshine, gorgeous weather, and we had fall color with snow on the ground, which is a little bit unusual. So I want to show you a few of our photos of what was happening, and then give you just my take on favorite places and where you might go next year if you choose to go and see it. Karla Kellems sent me some photos of the San Bernardinos, and I want to go over that, and maybe Karla can chime in if she has a minute. And I have a photo or two of my drives up in the San Bernardinos the last couple of weeks. Absolutely beautiful, just a beautiful time of year up in Running Springs and Big Bear. So let's get started. Um, let's see.
The controls that are on the screen. Use those controls. They're at the bottom.
Yeah, okay. Here we go. This is one of Karla's photos, just beautiful up at Running Springs by Keller up to Little Green Valley. A lovely hike 10 days ago when we did our Friendsgiving up at Keller Hut. And the willow are changing. It's just a lovely time. Just a lovely time. And here, this is in another Karla photo. This is in the city of Big Bear Lake, right next to the City Hall and Performance Center, actually, where the old drive-in movie used to be. It's a big open field. The San Bernardino Mountains Land Trust that Karla runs is there, owns this parcel. And it's I guess that was a non-native aspen grove that we're looking at, but has been there for quite some time, and it's absolutely lovely. So, okay, here is one of the photos that we have coming into the or looking down from the Convict Lake area and looking east toward the White Mountains. And snow covered, but brilliant sunshine, just a beautiful day to be out there. And here we are in Mammoth with our dog, with a little bit of snow accumulation. It was a lovely soft time to just we just brought some work with us, so we just kind of stayed in for a few days and did some work and had lots of hot drinks and enjoyed the faux fire in our room and the snow with our dog. And he had his new snow coverall, so he was cozy. So we had a fun time. And here we are again, the three of us, our terrier Mac and Maggie and me. Now this is an absolutely lovely area near Convict. We're showing the snowstorm caught the aspen at the beginning of their cycle. So you see some of them are still green. We're seeing some of the golds at that time. This is about 6 weeks ago. So this is undoubtedly all peaked and gone. The leaves are probably all off the trees by now. But first taste of winter up there, and you can see the mountains behind Convict, Mount Morrison and some of the others, just absolutely lovely. So that's very, very nice. Here's some more of those aspen in that area. And as you know, Convict Lake is a natural lake. It's a glacial lake. Very ancient geology in the mountains behind it of several different types. There's, very, very red rock on Mount Morrison and more of the standard Sierra granite. It's a beautiful place to stay. Our outings leaders, we're all going to be there for a strategic planning retreat in late March, I'm sorry, March 19th. And just one of my favorite areas in Sierra and Convict Lake, and good fishing as well. And there's a campground there that's outstanding and very clean, and a resort where you can stay in cabins all year round. And it's directly opposite of the Mammoth Airport, for those of you that aren't as familiar. This is the snow-covered path at Convict on the south shore to their aspen grove. Beg your pardon. As you can see, it's just starting to turn. Beautiful aspen grove, completely ADA compliant. If you're looking for a family-friendly place that will accommodate all generations, Convict's a big wedding venue, so they have been mindful that they have multiple generation parties there. So it's just a lovely place to go and walk and visit. They have platforms and places to walk and see the lake, which is stunning, and then the aspens themselves. Here, this is one of my favorites. It like walking through golden light. This was late in the morning when we saw this pathway, golden aspen leaves on the ground, just stunning light and blue sky. I just love this walk. Maggie and Mac on the walk, just aspen at their peak right there. Absolutely beautiful. Feet and paws and leaves. Fun to see them, and just a really nice mellow path to walk. There's a path that goes all the way around the lake. It is definitely not ADA compliant. It takes you probably an hour and a half if you walk very leisurely. The ADA compliant part is only about, I'd say, a quarter to a half mile, but you can circle the lake. It's a gorgeous walk, and I highly recommend, especially early in the morning because it's exposed. Here is a view of the southerly from Convict of this is sort of the glacial moraine. This is the glacial moraine in the southerly part of the Convict Lake area. So nice view of that, highlighted and accentuated by the snow, so you can really see the topography of it. And then you can see the aspen here at the foot of it by the Convict Lake campground, and they're all starting to turn. Maggie and Mac at the there's a kind of a fishing turnaround there, and a lovely view of Mount Morrison in the background, surrounded by these very mature aspen, and some of them still green. And this is that kind of a fishing beach in the south shore of Convict Lake. Absolutely stunning. More cottonwood, actually. These are cottonwood at Convict. Really beautiful. Turning along with the aspen. There's a cabin. For those of us that are outings leaders, we're going to stay there on March 19th through 22nd. It's the Laurel Ridge Cabin. That's where we're going to have our strategic retreat. Really beautiful cabin. So that's where our outings leaders are going to be to kind of get our heads on straight this coming year. Here is interesting view. As you know, aspen are very flexible, especially when they're younger. When they get covered with snow, their trunks bend and take on all kinds of unusual shapes. So these young aspen, and they're still green when the snow hit in October. So they're the typical aspen that get hit with snow and curve under the weight. And that's in the Convict campground. Here we are proceeding north on 395 going up toward June Lake, and you can see beginning of peak. Still a lot of green here, but this is just that lovely drive as we head up to June Lake and the June Lake Loop. And the right-hand side here hasn't started quite to turn. The left has. Just a lovely, I think of the areas in the Eastern Sierra, I think the June Lake Loop is my favorite for fall color. It's a beautiful winding road. You're going along through June, Gull, Silver, and then the reservoir, Grant Lake, which is the DWP reservoir that was built in the 40s. And that's the one that the Mono Lake Committee has really been concerned about because it dammed Rush Creek and really impacted Mono Lake after 1949. But the loop is stunning. John's gone out of the Silver Lake area for many of his mule pack trips up to Carson Peak, which looms over the Silver and Gull Lake area. There's a small ski resort there, June Mountain. It's owned by the same people that own Mammoth and Big Bear Mountain Resort. I mean, they're all owned by the same company now. But absolutely lovely area. This is the area looking north toward, I think Carson Peak is just off of the view here to the left. It's to the south, but we're looking toward the Sierras here, a beautiful grove of aspen. As you know better than I do, I'm sure many of you, aspen, they're not singular trees. They grow, their roots are in a system. And so the entire grove of aspen is an entity. It's a connected group of trees through their roots. So it's not just one tree. They have a whole connection through their root system. So it's just kind of fascinating. I think I'm just beginning to understand how these systems of certain types of trees like aspen work. Anyway, but this is that beautiful area by Rush Creek. As you know, Rush is one of the premier fly fishing areas in the state. And this is across the highway, across 395 from that fly fishing area. And we're looking to the north here, or to the northwest. Here we are. We've gone past Grant Lake, and we're looking east to the Mono craters. And John and I had a discussion at this during our practice session. These are the youngest volcanoes in North America. Last time they erupted was about 400 years ago. But they are incredibly active. As you may know, the Mammoth Lakes area is incredibly active. It's part of the Long Valley caldera, which encompasses the whole area. There are areas in the Mammoth Lakes Basin that have been destroyed by CO2. I think that Lake George area to the far north of the basin, the trees have been defoliated by the CO2. I'm hoping to get us up to Lake Mary this coming year. Beautiful camping south of the Lake George defoliation zone, but in this very interesting volcanic area. You can see our Great Basin sage, very tall and thick. It's now going into its dormancy with the snow and with the cooler weather, but it's that thick, lush Great Basin sage, and going all the way across to the Great Salt Lake in Wyoming. Mono Lake, as I'm sure many of you know, is one of those typical Great Basin lakes where it has no outlet. Their inlets feed it, but there's no outlet. So there are these big salt lakes, and the Great Salt Lake is just like Mono Lake in that one way. Pyramid Lake north of Reno is the same, and it has tufas like Mono Lake does. So just very interesting area. And you know, the pioneers that came across in wagon trains from Salt Lake, and they went through Elko and that last desert area before they kind of tried to surmount the Sierra is another one of those areas where the water just disappears into the desert. So high, cold desert. Coldest area really in California is Bodie and Bridgeport as part of this basin. High, cold, windswept, exposed, but beautiful. Here's Mono Lake on a beautiful reflective day, not much wind, glassy. Again, looking over the sage in its dormancy. And what's funny is we went camping out here, Karla and her husband Kevin and Bob Marino and I, in mid-June. We were at O Ridge overlooking the June Lake Loop, and this was all lush and just incredibly fresh as it was starting its cycle. But you know, in 4 months, it's done. It's going back into its dormancy. So incredibly fast growth season up here in the Great Basin, Eastern Sierra area, Mono Lake area, June Lake area. So very, very interesting. Here is the gorgeous visitor center at Mono Lake scenic area. As you can see, it just blends in with the environs so beautifully with the coloration of the architecture. Surrounded by cottonwood, as you can see here, it's changing its fall color, and a number of native plants that they've labeled. There's a beautiful nature walk right off of the visitor center where everything is labeled. The annual bird Chautauqua is held I believe in June primarily here at the visitor center, and it's a weekend chock full of lectures. Our own Marianne Reese, who's our co-chair of the chapter, is a faithful attendee to this because it's just such a fascinating. It's under the Pacific Coast Flyway and just has thousands of birds coming through at that time. Just beautiful. Here's some of the cottonwood there at the visitor center. Just stunning against the blue sky and that gorgeous light, 6 weeks ago. And you can see the one on the right is not quite at peak. It's green, but the one there in the center is just at peak. Just fabulous. Now we're entering into our San Bernardino section. And this was just a windshield photo I took going up to Running Springs, and just a lovely, lovely view. And this is our oak forest here in the San Bernardinos that many of you know far better than I do. But a lovely, lovely view. And here we are. This is one of our oaks right there at Keller, and just looking stunning in its brown and gold. Right outside of the Keller ski hut that we manage with the Angeles chapter there up in Running Springs, right across from the Snow Valley ski and bike resort. Lovely, lovely tree in that forecourt of the Keller ski hut. Okay. And here's Karla. Karla, are you with us? This is Karla a couple of years ago with a
Yes, I'm here.
Want to talk a little bit about this photo?
Yeah. So this is the Araster Aspen Grove. This is, unlike the Metcalf Meadow Aspen Grove, this is a native aspen grove. And it's located out off of the Pacific Crest Trail, just below Onyx Peak. And I really enjoy leading hikes out there, especially in the fall, because it's really pretty. But it's a small aspen grove, and it's kind of private, and you kind of have to be in the know to find it. And I'm hoping probably in the future I'll be leading some um, outings to that location.
I would love us to have some outings, and we'll get some co-leaders, myself included, to go with you, because I think this is just spectacular. And didn't you say they took the label off the map to kind of keep it a little?
Yeah, so there's only 2 native aspen groves in the San Bernardino Mountains that we know of. And this is one of them, and the other one is the Fish Creek. And this one, the Forest Service is really trying to protect. And so they kind of stopped labeling it on their maps many years ago.
Okay. Well, probably a necessary thing. And what a beautiful shot that is. And here we are. This is from just the other day, a week ago Saturday, correct?
Yes, this is Little Green Valley. And this was our Friendsgiving event. I led a hike prior to the event up to Little Green Valley to see the fall colors. And the thing that was kind of the most fallish were the willows. They were turning.
Yes, and they're just lovely. What a lovely shot that is. And everybody, kudos to Karla. She and her husband Kevin cooked the turkey and brought gravy, and the rest of us filled in. But it was a wonderful Friendsgiving event. We got the Norm and his wife Judy were there. John was there. It was just a lovely, lovely event. We got the last of the good weather, so the really fine weather. Do you guys have snow now tonight?
We're expecting possibly some snow tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and you're right. It was an absolutely beautiful day. We did our event outdoors because it was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, boy, it was stunning. It was so much fun. Okay, tell us about this one, Karla. These are sequoias, no?
Yeah, so this is the Sequoia Grove off of Keller Peak Road. And this is there's a old Forest Service road off of Yellow Post Site 6 that you can take, and it leads you into this penny pine sequoia grove that was planted probably back in the 70s. I heard it was planted by some sort of women's club, either a knitting club or a sewing club or something like that. And the focus was to get more sequoias into our mountains because they tend to do better when we had poor air quality back in the 70s and 80s. And this is a really pretty area that turns a real nice fall color. Definitely like to do this one in the fall.
Yeah, it's a stunning picture with just, you can see the beginnings of the gold. Lovely. And I love the conical juvenile, um, I guess 55-year-old sequoias there. It's so interesting. Just love it. Okay. And tell us about this one, Karla.
So this is Coyote Rock. It's part of the Children's Forest now for the U.S. Forest Service. And it's right out of Running Springs off of School Road is where you access the trailhead. And you could just see, I think this was kind of early fall, you can kind of just see some of the gold poking out in the background there. But this is really a nice place to also see the um, the fall colors up in the San Bernardino Mountains. Unfortunately, it has been shut down, and same with the Sequoia Grove. They have been shut down to the line fire. But I'm hoping, and there's a possibility they could just have opened up, or they'll be opening those up very soon.
Okay. Beautiful rocks, fun to climb on. And what a view. Gorgeous. Okay, and here we are back at Metcalf Meadow. Do you want to talk a little bit about this, Karla?
Yeah, so this is an interesting sequoia, aspen grove. Yeah, it was planted along a road um, next to the old drive-in movie theater. It was a planted species. We believe it's probably genetically from Colorado, probably came out of a nursery, but it really took root and just took off and it's really spread. And the rumor is right behind the Aspen Grove is a RV park. The rumor was the drive-in movie theater folks planted that there to keep the RV folks from being able to watch the movie screen. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've been told.
So rude.
I know, but this is absolutely gorgeous grove. Biggest one of the biggest groves in Big Bear proper, and it is the biggest grove in Big Bear proper. And we get tour buses of people pulling off the road, taking selfies in front of this aspen grove.
Well, you can see why it's stunning. It's just beautiful. So now, didn't you tell me that there's going to be some kind of a sign put in front of this?
Yes, unfortunately, Caltrans right in front of this grove on the Highway 18, they're putting in one of those big digital signs you see on freeways. It's huge. Um, and why they chose this location, I don't know, but sadly, it's probably going to ruin the view shed for the people driving on Highway 18 looking at the Aspen Grove because they're going to see this big, digital sign in their view.
Mm. Very rude. Well, but the view shed at least now is gorgeous. So thanks for the photo, Karla. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to stop my share. And are there any questions in the chat?
Yes, I just typed one in. So
Yes.
that last photo that we saw, there were red colors in there. Is that something other than the aspen, or are there some aspen that are red instead of yellow?
No, actually, yeah, some of them will turn kind of a reddish color. And those particular ones, like I said, they're not native to Big Bear, but they are aspens. Those ones, for some reason, do turn kind of a reddish color and then yellow.
Well, and we had a few more comments here. Andrew, you just posted a photo. You want to talk about that? Andrew, are you with us? Maybe not.
Well, you have to, you can, at this point, you can unmute.
Yes. Go ahead. Anyhow, beautiful photo.
There we go.
Andrew, beautiful photo. Where's this from?
Bishop Creek last month after the peak.
Nice. Gorgeous, just gorgeous. Were you up there hiking?
This is how stupid lucky we are. My um, stepkids own a cabin in Mount Whitney.
Nice. That
So it's
that's
nice afternoon. I just recently picked up my camera again for the first time in decades. So
that's a lovely photo. Look in the chat, everyone. Andrew just posted this gorgeous photo in the chat. Um, and Christina, you were mentioning also, look at that. Gorgeous, Andrew. Wow. Christina, you were mentioning bright lights from the digital sign, not good for the nocturnal wildlife. Karla, has anyone talked about this? Is there going to be a hearing or anything about this giant digital sign there in the Caltrans right away?
Yeah, this is a very controversial subject because they put them on a scenic highway, Highway 18. I believe they have 4 or 5 of them they're installing. One is in Running Springs.
Yeah.
They have 3 in Big Bear, and then they have 1 down Highway 38, I believe. And it was a project that they started back in 2020.
Yeah.
And they sent out the scoping during the holidays,
Yeah.
December and January. You have 30 days to respond to the scoping document, and not very many people knew about it. Not very many people commented. But not commenting doesn't mean that they're going to stop the project. From what I understand is each one of these signs costs like a couple $1 million,
Whoa.
and it was a pork kind of a pork budget that they had from the infrastructure bill that was passed during Biden.
Okay.
So yeah, so this it is a controversial subject. They've done this in other areas on other scenic highways. The location was originally supposed to be at the dam, but for some reason they moved it in front of the meadow, and we're still trying to figure out why. Because the land trust was never notified of the project because we weren't within the project area because originally it was at the dam.
Oh, we just had a terrific Box Springs group meeting about public comment. Summer, I don't know if you want to weigh in on this, but boy, I hope the Big Bear folk get a, get a crew out there at the next hearing if there's going to be one and register a complaint because that's pretty outrageous.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't have the capacity to rally the troops on this one. I have to focus on
Yeah.
the damage that they did to the meadow when they installed the stem of the sign. And yes, they encroached on private property on a rare plant meadow and destroyed endangered species.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes.
So that's I just don't have the bandwidth to
No, I
run
totally hear you. I completely hear you on that. But thanks for the intelligence on this. Well, much to do and see. And for those of us that are flatlanders down here, the drive around Big Bear Lake is always stunning. In terms of willows and all kinds of change of color. So if you get a chance to go up there and just take a drive and a picnic up to Meadows Edge picnic area, that's just a beautiful place to go. If we still have some good weather in the upcoming weeks during the holidays. So, well, everyone, that's what I have, and I hope you get up there to enjoy it. I hope you're like Andrew and get up to Whitney or others that get up to the Eastern Sierra. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful places to be this time of year. I just adore them. And feel free to venture up there and snowshoe and take part in the winter sports and enjoy that aspect of the Sierra. It doesn't have to be just a summer and fall area. It can be someplace that and not just skiing either. Get out and enjoy the environment. Well, John, that's it for the presentation, and everyone, thank you for coming. If there are no other questions, I think we can give people their evening back, and they can go and watch the Ken Burns documentary at 8 o'clock. So,
Thank you, Julianne, for the presentation. And everybody, remember next month, we have Rachel Wilkin talking about the second half of her John Muir Trail trip, which should be very interesting.
yeah, that will be on Wednesday, December 17th at 7 p.m. So come join us. And don't forget, folks, Tuesday, December 2nd, come for some holiday fellowship and the cookie exchange. But at the San Bernardino County Museum, as you know, it's off the 10 at California. It's a lovely facility. And it'll be good to see you in person. And it's always good to gather live, I think. Zoom is a great tool, but there's nothing better than being together, I think. So come on down, 7 p.m. We can kind of catch up with each other and hear the program that Marianne and Rachel are putting together. So with that, thank you for your time, and it was fun sharing photos. And thank you, Karla, for your photos as always. And
Yeah, no, thank you. That was really good. Thank you, Julianne.
you betcha.
That
And
was great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both.
Thank you. Bye.